I'm from Maroubra Guitar Lessons. It's such a nice day, surf's not so good, so I thought I'd bash this video out for those that are still having trouble improvising. I'll be as brief as I can be. This is not a how-to lesson. I know I had a lot of trouble improvising too. I'd done all the how-to lessons, knew all my chords, knew a few scales, knew a heap of riffs. Still couldn't play with people, still couldn't improvise. Thought it was because of my chosen profession, motor mechanic, brutalised my hands. Ended up finding it wasn't that. I did the motor mechanic thing and I did a diagnosis of all my issues and come up with a theory that when you're trying to learn something like guitar, you're sort of like building a house or building anything. You've got to start off with the foundations and build on those. And if the foundations are crook or not solid, everything you build or try and put on top of it's just going to collapse. So I've been teaching guitar for about 10 years now, and a lot of my students come to me saying, oh well, I can't improvise. You know, they've done all the Marty's lessons, all the Justins, hi there. Great, you know, great teachers. But just learning riffs, you end up being a good guitar shop player. But when it comes to actually being a solid player that somebody would have in their band, I think people will tell you to show you the door, which is what happened to me until I'd worked this out. All right, so this is a brief roadmap of what I found. The first thing you've got to do, level 1 or stage 1, is your rhythm. Simple rhythm exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's your basic subdivisions. Whole notes, quarter notes, 8 notes and 16ths. I'm not going to show you how to do that. You can hit me up and we can have a half-hour session. I can give you some tips, some things to do, and some songs to play to help you with that. But until you get that, you're not going to be able to improvise. I'll give you an example. I've got the little drum machine here. You know, like this is the pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and. Rock music is variations of those. You know what? There's only, oh God, they can wait. Potential fraud, go away. Rock music is essentially 4 chords, 3 or 4 chords, 4/4 time. You know, why does so much of it sound different? Or why is there so much variation? It's the variation I've found is it's that swagger in the pulse, the split subdivisions. Because you know, if you just play like this, you're playing like a sewing machine. But if you split those subdivisions, it starts to have this swagger and this its own kind of you know, it stands out. It makes people move in a different way. It makes people listen. And I heard one of those session players that's on the net. Sorry, I've forgotten his name. He was talking about, you know, like all the sessions he's done. He's played on hundreds of albums. The one thing he does is he sits down with the band and learns their swagger, their pocket, before he starts trying to improvise. He says every band's got their own pocket, their own swagger, or every player, you know, like the bass player might have this unique way of accenting notes. So it's really important if you're going to if you're going to, if you really want to improvise and you really want to play with other people, to get that rhythm exercise down, and then to start implementing it in your playing. Like seriously, it's work. It's where you go from playing to practicing, and everything will just start to open up to you. I promise you that. Okay, so I'll give you another example here. We just do a little bit of a loop with some basic chords. Let's see the guitar there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so 4 chords: G, D, A, C. Alright, so with our knowledge of rhythm, what can we do with that? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So not really sort of pretty bog standard improvising there, like the band is just playing open notes and you come along and you... But it's a start. What else can we do? Hit the A. So yeah, still pretty bog standard, but it's a start for you to start getting into the pocket and creating your own pockets that are still in the pulse, or your own attitude or your own swagger that's in the pulse. So that's level 1, getting your rhythm down. The next thing is yeah, you might know your open chords. Know your bar chords. You know them all over the neck. Once you start to know that, there's just so many ways that you can play those 4 chords up and down the neck. You know, like you've got your G there, D there, you've got an A there. G, D, A, C. It gives it a different sort of tonality, different attitude. And then with your effect, so that's improvising. So that I would call level 2. Knowing where all your chords are up and down the neck. You know, if you're just playing your cowboy chords there, you're limited to what you can do in regards to improvising, because you've basically just got that part of the neck. You can use level 1 with your different rhythms. But other than that, you don't know. You haven't got much headroom or much scope to work with. Now then, to learn the neck, I've got some very easy hacks and it's all based on knowing your bar chords right up and down the neck, because all that information is under your bar chords. It's nothing new. And then once you learn your bar chords, you start to learn what these other notes are. There's a bit of cage stuff in there as well, but man, you could write a whole book on cage stuff, but do you need all of it? and that's another thing I try to say to my students, like, think about where you want to be initially, and then do the 20% of stuff that gets you the 80% of results. You know, like, you don't need to be totally verbose on the cage system and do all those cage chords. All you really need to know is that D shape works all the way down the neck. And there's another thing that reminds me. Once you learn it all, there's bends off there. Whoops. You know, so that's essentially the start of improvising, the start of a solo. You can start figuring out stuff, and that's just one of those chord shapes moved up and down the neck. You know, like under your bar chord, you've got that Hendrixy F-shaped chord that you can move all up and down the neck. Yeah. So that's, I would call that level 2. And by all means reach out. We could do a half-hour session. I could point you in the right direction, then you can go do the work yourself. An hour session, we'll drill it right down, and I'll send you an email with links to videos and other resources that can help you get over that hump. And then I would call level 3 scales. Again, your chords are a key there. Knowing your chords and knowing where the different shapes are on the neck really helps you. And then learning let's start with the pentatonic shape is under those chords. For example, those 4 chords. So we've got G, D, A, C. It's in G major, so then E minor is the relative minor, E minor pentatonic. Oh. You can't lose with this kind of thing, you know. And then another thing you can do, like I'm always looking for ways not to move right up and down the neck. If I start playing something and I'm on that G there, I think, okay, what shape's under there? So that's that 4th shape in the E minor pentatonic. Yeah? And then knowing how to transition from that into number 1. What else? I mean, if I listen to it, I'll get back in the pocket. And then knowing how to play these scales up and down the neck. And learning how to transition. We all learn this first box here, but it's nothing without the rest of it there. Another hack is, and I'll give you this one for free, is learning how to play the pentatonic on one string all the way up and down, and then visualizing each box as you're going through. I know that's the 3rd box, the 2nd box, 1st box, 3rd box, 4th box, 5th box. First box, home base. Just handy transition into the 2nd box. Oh, that was a bit early. And then go back. Easy, yeah? So, sorry, I shouldn't say easy, but it's once you get once you forget trying to be Eric Clapton or Jimmy Page or Jimi Hendrix or John Frusciante, and just be yourself, moving up and down the neck, it does become easy. Yeah, and that's I think was a lot of my problem. I was just always kicking myself because it didn't sound like my idols. And then once I stopped trying to be my idols and started fixing the foundation that was underneath all these licks and stuff that I learned. Don't get me wrong, all the licks and stuff that I learned were good, but to some degree chasing them too much was a waste of time. Yeah, it wasn't until I sorted out my rhythm, sorted out my the neck, learning where all the chord shapes were, the third shape, getting the scales to connect. Oh man, we haven't even looked at the major scale yet. Again, but it's just the beauty of it is it's a sort of rinse and repeat pattern, and you can just keep copying it. Oh, I got it wrong there. And then adding that major scale in with the pentatonic gives you a there, that's C, because we've got C in this. And I hit it again there. Yes, it's a riff based off The Cure's, what is it, Just Like Heaven. I think they do it in A, this is in G, so you just move everything down the neck. And initially it's hard, and it seems like overwhelming, because if you're anything like me, you would. I was painting by numbers, and a lot of my students paint by numbers. It's, you know, they get their tabs, or they follow the YouTube video, and then this finger goes on that string on the third. Sometimes I don't even know that that's the G string. They just think, all right, that's ring finger on the third string and the third fret. You know, it's sort of, it gets you so far, but then it's it doesn't give you any headroom, because you don't even know why they're doing that, then that, because it's all part of that. Or you don't even know. All my students that have learned, what's that? That Pink Floyd one. I can't play. Guitar teacher that can't play. What is it? Comfortably Numb, or How I Wish You Were Here. But they don't even know that's the. It's the most cliche transition in rock. It's from the first position to the second position, and there's so many songs there. It's just that I don't know, something like that. But you know, like so it's great that they know it, but just painting it by numbers is it's leaving a big gap in your foundation. You need to sort of get away and getting back to the rhythm sort of thing. A lot of my students say, "Oh, what's the strumming pattern? Up, up, down, up, down, up, 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 down, up." And I tell them, look, you know, that's good to get you so far, but there's no pulse in that, because as soon as we start going and you get lost, and I see the look in their face, they go, you know, they've forgotten which part was up and which part was down, and they're a lost cause. But if they had that pulse, and this happens to me when I'm playing in the band, sometimes I lose it, but I can just sort of like click the strings a couple of times and I'm back into it. Yeah, so that whole uppity downity sort of thing, you know, like move away from that and start 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, I promise you, it'll get you over the hump, and you can start applying that to everything you know, and start playing the songs that you know, the basics. Don't be playing Tool until you can play something like Taking Care of Business, and playing it solid. It's something like Zombie by the Cranberries can be played so many different ways. It can be bumped up. Whoops, what is that? It can be pumped up, it can be slowed down. Something like that. I guess you know what I mean. So anyways, that's sort of like, so level 1 rhythm, level 2 the knowing your notes and your chord shapes up and down the neck, and then level 3 was knowing your scales, how they fit under the chords and how they link up. And there's a couple of hacks there that I can show you as well. If you do the hour session with me, I can send you a follow-up video of what we discuss, and give you some links that will address that particular issue. So use this video as something, as a bit of a diagnosis tool for you to figure out exactly what bricks you got missing. You can reach out to me, and we can work on them together, or take them to your own guitar teacher, or have a go at fixing them yourself. That's what I did. And if you like this video and you like what I was saying, feel free to buy me a coffee. I'll leave the links down there to give me a tip. Coffee in Australia is $5. Beer is 10. I like beer. There's also a link to my band Merlot. You can see me walking my talk with warts and all. With a bit of luck, maybe I might be able to afford some production and not have to do it all in one go. But anyway, that gets it out for the time being. Reach out if you want to know more about my gear. Another thing, I've driven a wedge through all the gear. I make guitars out of junk. Even sort of make my own pickups. The rig I use at home is just a Nux MG 300 or something. It's the cheapest thing you can get, but it's great. I wouldn't play live with it, but I play live with the Helix. I gave up valve amps. Found them too temperamental and too hard to get to keep the sweet spot at certain gigs require certain volumes. It's almost like you need 3 different valve amps. So I started using solid state stuff with my own speaker boxes over there. Mate, love it. I'm loud enough, I'm clear enough, and I haven't got $10,000 invested in gear. Man, if you like gear, you got gas for gear. All power to you. I went down there. I had probably about 50 grand worth of guitars. Sold them all. I haven't even looked back. But I don't care if this did get stolen. I probably would care, because I don't know what I mean. But I could do it again. It's just some plywood thing I found on the side of the road. It's like it's a Strat with an arch top. Maple neck. These smaller headstocks fit in my gig bag. I take a couple of guitars to gigs. Anyway, reach out. I'll do another video on my gear and how I drove a wedge through that. I hope this helps you. Like or subscribe. But better, buy me a coffee or a beer. Even better, or come into the studio via Zoom. Or if you live in Sydney, come to one of my jam sessions, which I'll leave a link down below, or come to the studio and I'll help you out. We can play together. All power to you.